Hi, by the way, Tribe Athletes. Today we'll discuss why no hypertrophy equals no progress and why you haven't made any new progress past that initial few months or weeks of calisthenics, few months or so, let's give you the credit. Even though you train the planche and front lever and one arm chin up for a few years now, okay? Allow me to take you back in time. Remember those times when you trained in the gym, classic bro lifts, some barbell bench, some dumbbell bench as well after that, maybe incline bench, also maybe some shoulder presses, and maybe decline bench presses, maybe with dumbbells as well, and you did cable flies too, you did push-ups, maybe you did weighted chips as well, dips as well, chips maybe as well. Maybe you did dumbbell flies too. All those exercises to target one muscle groups, a lot of volume, a lot of variation to tackle it from all angles. It didn't help calisthenics. You are right, it doesn't help calisthenics, but you build a lot of muscle mass. Muscle mass is like soldiers. Having more soldiers in an army, they do not yet know how to cooperate in the calisthenics world, in the war zone of performing calisthenics specific exercises like a planche or front lever, but you have more motor units, you have more army soldiers to play with, bigger army. So you learned the planche, you learned the calisthenics, and you made quick progress. You learned how to transfer all that data, boom, all those relevant muscle groups to specific exercises, and you made quick improvements. And you basically maximize, that's the scenario that I'm speaking about right here, you basically maximize the amount of improvements, or 95% of the improvements that you can make potentially with a movement pattern, because you maximize the amount of muscle mass that you added. And since you think that adding muscle mass will hindrance calisthenics performance, you decided that you have to remain small. And you're stuck in this loop of, I don't want to add weight, trying to improve, but you no longer hypertrophy, so you don't improve, but you don't add weight, so you don't hypertrophy, so you don't improve, and so on. Before I get going into the details, if you want affordable coaching, affordable calisthenics programs, tutorials, check the Bodyweight Tribe, link in the description below. And if you want one-on-one online coaching under my guidance, there's a big sale now. Check the link in the description below. Thank you so much. Also subscribe, why not? Those times, the newbie gains, the time where you actually improve your lifts, your barbell, your bench, in hundreds of percentages. You take an empty barbell and within 2 months, it's twice the weight. And within another 2 months, it's double that weight. So you quadruple the amount of initial weight using only the bar, the empty barbell. 20 kilogram barbell bench in 4 months was 80 kilogram, your body weight. And barbell squat, empty barbell, 20 kilograms in 4 months is 100 kilogram. Hundreds of percentages of improvements. Those improvements goes hand in hand with your ability at that stage as a newbie lifter, as a lifter in general training age, but also in a specific methodology, which is in our case the gym lifts, the classic traditional barbell lifts, with your ability to make those newbie gains, to add muscle mass, which slightly over time gradually diminishes, and your ability to add muscle mass, let's say at year 5 of consistent and structural barbell strength training, is maybe 1 kilogram a year. It basically halves every year. So that's not like a clear science data research, but it's more take the idea that in the first year you can add maybe 6 kilograms, I'm talking lean mass, like absolute lean mass with no fat. The next one will be 4 kilograms, 2 kilograms, 1 kilogram, half a kilogram, half a kilogram, half a kilogram. Obviously, if you suddenly start to train legs, you will see a lot of additional of new muscle mass, but you haven't trained that muscle group, so basically you're a newbie in leg training. And so once you transition through calisthenics. You maybe grow your arms, so you'll be able to add more mass here, but overall you will not find a lot of hypertrophy added overall. So you limit yourself, and you no longer can make significant improvements. You can only improve technique, and you can improve neurological efficiency, so you can get more coordinated, and you can learn to understand, okay, I'll position my palms here rather than here, and that will make some improvements. But those improve either when you suddenly change a different exercise or introduce your body to a new repetition range. You know, when you suddenly introduce yourself to singles, so you get better at performing single repetitions heavy training, or when you transition from heavy training to endurance, you initially suck, but then you improve like fast. I'm talking about multiple repetitions a week, but those are the improvements that you will make in a few sessions or a few weeks, and they will significantly diminish past that point. Past that, you only have muscle mass. Muscle mass. Boom. If you do not add muscle mass, you do not progress in calisthenics. There I said it. If you do not add muscle mass in respective muscle groups, so mainly shoulders and arms, that's it. If you look at the gymnast, shoulders, arms, yes, he has some torso, some trunk musculature as well, but not as significant as, let's say, a power lifter or a weightlifter, okay? The traps will be underdeveloped, the lats will be underdeveloped, upper back very strong as well, external rotators very strong as well, but mainly triceps, all elbow flexors, some forearm, and all shoulder girdle, all the deltoid musculature. So if you take a gymnast, he is strong. You look at the ring gymnast, ring strength specialist, he is usually bigger than the average gymnast. And if you look at the elite amongst the ring specialists, usually you have some that really are exception to the rule, but usually they are the biggest among those ring specialists. Look at Arthur Zanetti, look at Petrunius, look at Brandon Wynn, so you get the idea. Yeah, you have rules, you have exceptions to the rule, but you have to add muscle mass. That's the idea. And if you do not add muscle mass over time, you have a clear ceiling about improvements that you can make. You can practice technique, you can get more coordinated, but those will be past those initial few weeks or even months if you're a slow learner, almost negligible. So you have to add muscle mass. Listen what I'm saying though. It is not for me to improve, I want to add muscle mass. I am training hard and I'm simply allowing myself to fully recover and adapt. I do not believe that if I somehow in any way, shape or form add 5 kilograms, I will be stronger. I can actually add more muscle mass that is relevant. Fat, first of all, I can add fat mass. Second of all, I can add a lot of mass in my legs. It's not really useful, right? Well, last week I got extremely sore from a lot of power cleans, but that's traps. I was extremely sore here and tender. Really useless for ring training. I'm talking about actually if you're training on the rings but you're allowing yourself to recover, you will add slightly over years of training more muscle mass. You should, and you will find a new ceiling of performance. Every time if I look at myself, like in periods of time, in years, like 2-year gaps, comparing one to another, the time that I had front lever and plunge, and then those 2 years of time when I had the iron cross and iron cross pullouts. And then that period of time that I had the Maltese and Maltese presses to planche and Maltese presses to iron cross. At each stage, I was able to gradually add muscle mass. Here, relevant musculature, at about 2 to 3 kilogram increments. Boom, boom, boom. Those were necessary motor units to help me break through my previous ceiling, otherwise performance will not occur. No hypertrophy, no progress. So allow yourself to fully adapt. That means adding muscle mass as well. There's a clear limit of technical and neurological improvement. You have to allow yourself to add more muscle mass. Okay, you can track with circumferences, okay? Check the arm, check the forearm, check that you're adding muscle mass check the waistline in the necessary muscle group. You can do that certainly, and you'll find correlation, improvements in those areas via ring training equals performance on rings. Newbie gains, this is the time that you get the strongest. This is also the time where your body adds lean tissue like a freak, like a kid. So, don't be shy, add muscle mass, allow it over time. The stronger gymnasts usually are the jacked gymnast. And that's the video for today. Subscribe, check the links, coaching, one-on-one, bodyweight tribe. See you next time.